3 pixels of your model's hip, you're going to get a permaban. But if you do things like, I don't know, make calls for political violence or shock your dog live on Twitch, they think that's A-okay.
Okay, so that's a call out to Hassan, I guess. I think part of the problem, though, with the shocking of the dog collar one is it's only illegal in the U.S. in like maybe 4 cities.
But here's what happened recently, and that led to a discovery that probably led to a lot of people being falsely banned over the years. Twitch has come out and lost a bunch of people because Amazon did a huge round of layoffs. Amazon owns Twitch, and a lot of staff at
Amazon laid off like just entire fucking departments. It was crazy.
Twitch have lost their jobs over the past week. And the aim of this is apparently to shift things into AI. They're trying to automate more of their systems. And this is a lot like the situations involving anime and manga localizers where they are losing their jobs to AI translations.
Yep, and here's the thing. A lot of the AI translations are absolute shit. However, it is the worst they're going to be. And they're not completely awful. So, some of them are bad. Like, really, really bad. But they will only continue to get better.
And, just like the Twitch staff, nobody feels sorry for these localizers because for years, some of the bad actors can't do their job and instead abuse their position to add in quirk chungus Reddit humor or censor things they don't like.
Yeah, a lot of people did end up censoring stuff. There was a whole issue with someone on Crunchyroll, I believe, that did something similar to that. So yeah, but that's not. It wouldn't have mattered though. Even if all these these people were on the up and up and the best absolute translators they ever could be, doesn't matter. Twitch would absolutely, or Amazon would absolutely, including Crunchyroll, they're going to switch to AI because AI, you don't have to pay salaries. You may have to pay a subscription fee. You may have to pay every once in a while, but you don't have to deal with healthcare. You don't have to deal with people suing you for any reason. There's a massive reason to switch to AI for a lot of customer service type jobs. Obviously, people are going to have to specialize in other things, but for customer service, it's the next gradual step is you replace it with AI. You don't need people in customer service. You just don't in most cases. You need them in front-facing, like maybe at register customer service to stop people from fucking stealing from self-checkout type shit. But other than that, you don't really need them in like on over-the-phone customer service. 99% of that can actually be done better by an AI because they don't just automatically hang up the phone on you when you start screaming at them.
Or change the dialogue for their own agenda. So when they lose their job to AI, it's not that people are cheering going, yes, we wanted AI. No, the people are basically saying, I will take an overall poor quality product just as long as the annoying people get to suffer. It's the truth.
Yep.
That's how a lot of people are reacting with the Twitch layoffs. Now, this is an individual who got into a lot of trouble, especially over the past 24 hours or so, named Tarfu, who was laid off by Twitch the other day after 11 years of working there. Now, this is where it gets interesting. He does a little humble brag here where he says, I was the person who built the entire fraud program at Twitch, and that he was keeping bad actors off of Twitch, and he guesses he did his...
I'm like, I don't know. Are we talking about the fact that you Twitch for nearly a decade didn't even bother touching bots? How many fucking bots have been on Twitch over the last, I don't know, 10 years at minimum?
His job too well since they let him go.
Pirate Software.
Now, this is interesting because...
No, the original Pirate Software. He worked there before Pirate Software. He was the mentor.
Because the fraud program has been used to ban countless content creators over the years. And again, a lot of them being VTubers. And yesterday, Pippa made...
Okay, so I do kind of understand this, of why they would ban VTubers before anyone else who's like, using their actual face, right? It's harder to figure out if a VTuber is a real person necessarily. versus, just some like automated system. Or, I mean, the voice, right? But the other problem is, just in general, how the TOS system and Twitch was never really, they didn't really think of VTubers being a thing when they created Twitch, so they didn't update stuff, which they should have, which is the problem. A lot of stuff isn't updated until it's too late. The whole reason we can do reaction type content at all is because they didn't bother to update the copyright system, which is primarily meant for news companies taking movies from and showing them on their and doing reviews about them. That was the whole reason the copyright system was basically codified in 1976, and they never updated it for the internet because they didn't think about the internet. And they just never changed it.
A video talking about what she has experienced and what she has seen, whether it's indie VTubers getting hit with this fraud program and losing their accounts, and also her experience at Faze Connect, which is a VTuber agency where she talked about how basically some of her new gen
I did hear some stuff about Faze
mates were getting like spawn camped. They would create a new account like they're a new talent in the agency. And because they're an agency, they're able to get their accounts verified. So Twitch verifies these fresh accounts. And before they even do their first stream, they're permabanned with this fraud rule. Like I said, literally spawn camping these VTubers. And it happened over and over again.
You know what's also funny is, so Faze Connect, the company that I work for, okay, we're an established company, right? So this is not abnormal. We had some of our talents verified by Twitch and had their revenue enabled early on. And even though the accounts were verified by Twitch, several members of Faze Connect immediately had their accounts banned right after. You know why? Probably because people were buying subscriptions to these accounts that had not yet streamed, that had been verified by Twitch.
Well, okay, so if your account is verified by Twitch, you shouldn't be allowed to buy subscriptions to the channel until they stream at least once. Like, I see how you could do that. Like, for instance, if offline, you just click on it on their account, and then, but if they haven't streamed one time, there should be a system in there that says, sorry, they haven't streamed yet. You can't subscribe to them or buy a membership until they start streaming. That would be an easy fix. That'd fix all of this shit. It would be so easy. You just put a block on it so people can't accidentally buy it, so then it doesn't look like inflation of numbers.
It's been banned for fraudulent activity. And we see this happening to other VTuber agencies.
And here's the best part. You don't ban the VTuber channel necessarily. You ban the fucking follower. And you just give them but even then, this would still be all on Twitch. And it'd be so easy to put that limit in there. You could vibe code that limit in. No, they don't. They wouldn't even need to pay someone. You could probably vibe code it in. I guess you might have to pay $10 for the vibe code.
As well. So just sucks VTuber agency. Their VTuber, Malfina, also getting...
well, this was only a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? This video came out 2 weeks ago, but this has only been happening over the last couple of months, right? Because if it has been a couple of months, vibe tubing. Yeah, let's do vibe tubing. Vibe coding should have been the last 6 months and relatively well. The only thing that makes sense is they were being banned by an AI system, right? So it was less likely that it was banned by a person in general. It was most likely whatever the fuck Amazon's AI implementation system was, if I had to guess.
Being banned for fraud before she even got to debut. Huh, did you think I was done? Because I have more. Here's Aphrodite getting banned. Aphrodite is part of Mythos, another VTuber agency.
So towards the end of the video, she actually gets pretty fiery, but as she should, it's obviously very annoying to see people in your agency having their accounts sniped with the same BS reason that makes absolutely no sense. And
did any of these people get their channels back though? Like, I assume if you're verified by an agency, they should be able to just message them and be like, hey, this was a fake ban. You guys, it was an automated system. Can you guys reinstate it? Because How could you, if you're an agency, you should have more leeway to actually contact actual support than me, for instance. Yeah. Okay. So, is it bad if there's no human oversight? Yes, for now. In the next couple of years, I don't know. The problem with human oversight is it's based off of whims. A perfect example would be how YouTubers get monetized. All right, it's completely arbitrary. There are so many people that are not monetized for reused content, and then there's people like me who get monetized within 4 hours, and I potentially shouldn't be. Now, to be fair, I don't react to mainstream music for the most part, so that's probably why I was safe. And my stuff absolutely like someone probably watched one of my initial videos and they're like, "Oh my god, shut the fuck up, monetized." But cuz I don't just sit there, But human oversight is complicated in a lot of ways because you're going to be basing it off of not necessarily a set of rules. You're going to be basing it off of a base set of rules mixed in with human opinion, and you're going to have a lot of issues where some channels are absolutely totally fine and others aren't, and they're going to have basically the same type of content in the exact same way with all the same stuff, and it's going to feel like Twitch or all these companies, YouTube, etc., are playing like favorites to a degree.
Also to see other VTubers hit with this, and of course, outside of VTubers, there's traditional streamers who don't use VTuber models who also got hit by this. So when
the majority of people who got hit by this, I don't think it was VTubers being targeted. It was agencies uploading stuff, telling people to go subscribe to their VTuber streams in advance, versus launching the stream itself. Oh, you know what? That would have made more sense for an agency. Why not just launch a stream real early as a test stream and don't tell anyone about it? You'll get maybe a couple 50 people or whatever and just be like, this is the test stream. And then after that, then you have everyone start subscribing. But because of the way Twitch designed it, and this is still on Twitch, they could have easily made it a non-issue. But that would have been one way to do it.
We'll see the guy who claims to have single-handedly made this program that's affecting so many people. They see him come out and do a little
He didn't say he single-handedly made the program. He said he made the program. That doesn't mean anything in business world. That means he was on the team that made the program. He may have been the lead, which is more likely what happened. A lot of creators, when they think of they take things way too literally. Like if I say I was the one at Disney working on their wire display, the answer is I was the lead on a team of 12 working on the water display. That's the whole same concept with fucking Mudahar, who say he was a fucking cybersecurity engineer or whatever, an IT engineer of some kind. It's in business world, it's so semantics. They don't give a fuck what your title is or what you say you do as long as you can actually do it.
Humble brag. People don't like it, and you can see people saying good riddance.
Unless you're a doctor or a lawyer.
I was banned wrongfully for this fraud, this program you created, and he's down here saying I'll take things that never happened. So basically, gaslighting this guy and saying that didn't happen. You're crazy. Yeah, not good. And if you want to reach out for support. Well, a lot of people couldn't really do that. Not everyone's in an agency or not everyone is a big content creator can make a big stink about things and maybe force Twitch to do something. So some people just lost their account and never got it back. And if you want to...
And to be fair, though, a lot of people probably did commit actual fraud within the system. So, I mean, you have plenty of channels that bought all the time. You think they didn't actually buy subscriptions third party with their own systems and have their accounts banned? Absolutely. And just because you say you were banned via fraud doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't true. It could not be true, but it could also be true. So that's the thing. It's like going into the comment section on Reddit where everyone there is an expert, or Facebook or something like that, right?
See what Twitch communication looks like. If you can even get into contact, I saw this
It's all
post from
nonsense.
yesterday where another VTuber seems to have been suspended on Twitch, and
Yeah, you're just gonna get a canned AI response back.
the reason is pretty crazy. They admit in this email that the suspension was due to a mistake on their parts, but skip down a few lines. They then say the strike will remain on your...
Okay. Okay, so the question about the strike remaining on the account, though, is what kind of strike? Even if... this is two separate issues right here. You can still get a copyright strike or a strike of some kind, but you may not need to be banned. So this is two different things. This is... You can easily have a strike on your account, and that'd still be fine and you not being banned. They were banned and they had a strike. That's two separate issues from this email. That has this is like a non... I wouldn't consider this an argument you could use. You can absolutely keep the strike on your account because the strike might be valid. Absolutely, this could be a valid strike, but it may not have warranted a ban for the account, is what I'm saying.
Your account. So they're saying, we falsely suspended you. We're giving your account back, but we're going to keep a strike on your account, even though you did nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's not what this email's saying. You're reading that email wrong. Yeah, so if you get a fraud ban on Twitch, you can actually have your entire account from Amazon banned because they're just like YouTube. They will auto ban the IP. Yeah. So that's the thing. You'll be IP banned. Now, there are ways to get around the Amazon ban for life. It's generally not an Amazon ban for life. It's generally you get it's like a suspension for a year from Amazon itself. But if Amazon lost money to you for some reason for returns and shit, yeah, they will absolutely ban you permanently. Now, there's obviously other ways around it. Just use a different family member or use a different address, Maybe you have to move to get your Amazon account back because obviously they're just going to geo-lock you effectively. And that's not super hard to get around. You can get around that in a lot of different ways. But this email, I don't know if I would say it was there's two issues here with this email, which is the problem. And there is a possibility that the strike was a mistake on their part, but I think the strike was probably valid, but the ban wasn't.
Make it make sense. And then this person's talking to customer support, talking to Jose over here, explaining the situation, and you can see Jose's response. I understand that you... Basically a keyboard smash. Like, Jose either had a stroke typing this, or Dan Clancy hit him with the shock collar mid-sentence. He's like...
Twitch remove suspension. Oh, it's the same one. It's the same person. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Having worked in tech support, especially at level 1, all right, when you message us in tech support, we only have certain access rights to certain parts of what's going on. We can see why it was potentially unbanned to a degree, but we can't do anything further than that necessarily. And a lot of times we can't escalate further up. There's just no way to do it. So a lot of times we're just as stuck as you are. There is an exception to that, and that's insurance companies that work for like health insurance in the US. For some reason, level 1 support has the ability to basically block you in every way if they want, which is crazy. But they can't necessarily unblock you.
Like, dude, you're about to help out a VTuber, aren't you? Like, we don't do that around here. But anyways, that's what's going on with this fraud program that continues to be a very big menace to a lot of people, including...
I can still see it being a problem with AI, an automated system doing this, but I don't know. I think this is a bit of a reach.
VTubers. Let's shift to another issue that's, once again, really affecting a lot of VTubers. It is view count. This is something that has really gone haywire, where people's view counts do not represent what they're actually hosting, the amount of people in their chat. It's
That actually I have noticed on my side. Now, what's interesting is Streamlabs right now is showing a view count of 21. But if I actually look at Twitch, it's 12, which is probably the accurate view count. So maybe people are using other streaming software and they're getting different numbers. So the biggest problem I think that people are probably conflating here is Twitch uses two different types of view counts. One for engaged viewers who are actually fucking paying attention and kind of like contributing to it, and then other viewers who are not. Now the other thing is you might be getting lower view counts if people are using VPNs. Most of the time, I would assume Twitch would not be counting a VPN link to your channel as an actual valid view, because they can't monetize that, because those are all those types of views are blocked by ad companies. Ad companies won't pay Twitch for revenue from a VPN, and there's entire lists of IP like addresses and just whole not subnets, just whole sections of the internet that are totally locked down for ad revenue. You just don't make money from that. So even if your numbers are showing 2,000 live, when you exit out and it shows your actual numbers, you might be only at like 1,300. Well, that's because a ton of people are using VPNs. A lot of people are using, waste ad block. Ad block would be deleting the view counts as well, because Twitch is only going to count at viewership for anything they can make money on. And if they don't make money on it, yeah. So that's the thing about ads. The weird thing about ads is, and this has actually happened in a few businesses I've worked with. I wasn't working with the ad department, but what happens is an ad company will submit an ad that is totally fine and safe within whatever country they're in, and then they'll change it because you can upload new modifications live, even though the original was like, it doesn't have to go through the review process twice effectively. Now that is slowly changing, because what happened is Android came out with a bunch of crazy ads that were like borderline illegal everywhere. And same with Apple. Apple got in a lot of trouble for not vetting the ads twice effectively. And the same goes for like YouTube. Facebook, for instance, is getting a lot of trouble now because they're effectively almost posting like porn ads. So they are starting to crack down on it, but it's going to be slow.
Way off in a lot of cases. And this really stems back, for context, to back in August, where Twitch came out. Twitch is a platform that is infamous for allowing view botting for years and years and years. They came out and said, enough is enough. We're cracking down on view botting. And
I wonder if they actually did, though. Like didn't Mira, there's a channel called like Mira TV or something like that, and they were like running 22 ads an hour, or 22 minutes worth of ads an hour, and the entire channel was like a giant view bot farm. It went from like, it was like averaging like 25,000 viewers or something like that to like 2,000 within like a day.
And the overall viewership of Twitch went down by over 20%. That's how significant this was. And there's funny stories, right? Like there was that one OnlyFans girl who wouldn't even really stream. She would just play a pre-recorded video on loop 24/7, and she would just view bot the heck out of her channel and collect the ad revenue. Her viewership went from 3,000 to 200.
It was way low. It was way lower numbers.
Overnight, like completely and utterly exposed. They cooked her with that one. But the issue here is that all this time later, people are noticing that this attempt at cracking down view botters, it's gone way too far, where it's counting lurkers as view bots, and it's not recording or including them in a view count. And
maybe. How's it going? I don't think it's actually like really cutting down and like, with lurkers. I don't think that's the problem. I think what a lot of the channels that are complaining about this are freaking out about is the fact that it's people who are using ad block. It doesn't count. It doesn't count people who are circumventing the block system for ads, and that's absolutely something that they wouldn't count. Why would they count that towards why would they count that towards their the viewership numbers? And you know for a fucking fact a lot of people use VPNs and things to log in. And unfortunately, most people use free VPNs, public VPNs, NordVPN, whatever. Well, the problem is Vettel. The one I don't know if that test would actually really change much in a lot of respects, but that's gonna be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that would work very well because that's going to be very highly subjective to like random shit going on at any given point. He would have to do it over like every single stream over the course of like 2 months to see for an actual like to see if it worked like that. So a one-off instance isn't going to do jack shit in most cases. But I think the biggest thing is viewership most likely dropped just due to the fact that people were not being served ads. Plenty of people use ad blocks. Plenty of people use, and yeah, but there are ways around it, in which I'm not going to tell you because I don't know if I'm allowed to. But there are ways around it, and that's most likely it probably wasn't lurkers. It was probably other things that were factoring into it.
And if you don't know what a lurker is, it's someone who just watches a video or a stream. They don't actually like engage by typing comments or anything like that. And there was a similar issue on YouTube I talked about that happened right around the time this view botting thing was being cracked down on, where they weren't counting, I guess you could say, lurkers on YouTube.
No, YouTube had a different issue. YouTube's views are entirely getting deleted if you're using a VPN on YouTube. You are absolutely not getting counted. There might be an exception if you're using a dedicated IP VPN, then you might get counted. But no, view counts for the most part do not count if you use a VPN on your favorite creators. They just don't. There's a reason they're trying to force everyone into YouTube Premium. That counts. What's interesting is if you download videos on regular YouTube, and then actually, can you download them now? I don't know if you can download them on regular. Okay, so if you download them on regular, which I think you can do, and then you watch it offline, and then you log back in, those views and hours don't count. However, if you have a premium subscription on YouTube and you download like an entire playlist to your offline system and watch it offline, next time you go back online, it will count those hours and views to whatever creator you were linked to. But not if you're not on premium. It only counts for premium users, which you're looking at $8 for the light, I think, $14 for a solo, $22.50 or $22.99 is what I can get charged for family. But for me, it makes sense because YouTube's already paying me back anyway. You don't want to deal with ads on my fucking channel. But yeah, well, okay, so even with external tools, it's almost impossible to block all YouTube ads anyway. And even if I didn't place any ads on any of my videos in my YouTube channel, YouTube plays them anyway. The only thing YouTube does for ad placement for for creators is it gives you a better control of where you think a breakpoint should be. But YouTube will play an ad anyway every 7 to 9 minutes regardless. That's it, unless they want you on premium. That's because what's interesting is creators actually make more money if you're on premium by like a 3-fold increase, easily. Assuming they watch your channel the majority of the time, which is interesting. But like overall, that's what happened on YouTube. It was all VPN stuff. It was all people using ad block. It was all that stuff. That's why the view counts started dropping. They started tying views to ad revenue, and if you were eligible for it. If you weren't eligible for ad revenue on that video because people were blocking the ads, then your view got deleted. That's what was going on. So, downloading video. Premium is the only thing that basically makes it so all stuff counts regardless. Honestly, I actually do recommend premium even with the price, because holy fuck, the amount of ads on YouTube in general are a nightmare. $13 or $14 a month on average for me for that, worth it. However, I spend a lot of my time on YouTube, and it's worth it for me, and I don't have to deal with things like revamped and all the other bullshit nonsense background stuff. Now, if you're really trying to save money, sure, figure out the free way to do it, I guess. But for me, it's worth it. But then again, I just don't have Netflix, so I'd rather have YouTube over Netflix or YouTube over Hulu or anything else. So that's, if you're stacking tons of other subscriptions, then it's a problem.
They're only counting engaged viewers, people who were liking, commenting, or subscribing to the video. That's why people like myself were encouraging people to do that, because it always helps, but it was helping people.
No, they were that's wrong. They weren't counting people who were liking and subscribing on things. That's not what they were counting. They were counting people who weren't fucking circumventing their ad system.
People actually have their view counted by YouTube. It seems like that system's gotten better, or maybe people are just more inclined to engage because they want to help out content creators. Who knows? But
more people are switching to premium. That's really all there is to it. A lot more people are switching to premium because honestly, for the most part, they're making it more worth it. They're adding a lot of features to it. And the average person doesn't mind paying $14 a month. You know, a lot of people will bitch about it online, but they're still going to do it. They're still going to pay for it. It's at least 25% of my viewers on my channel now, because I can check the metrics for it. And by the way, 6 months ago, it was only like 6% of my viewers. A lot of people are switching over to premium. And they're just paying it, because the problem is, you know, a lot of web browsers are totally blocking the ability to it'll slow your entire system down, and YouTube will just stop working correctly. I mean, so where are you located again? Okay. So, and when you say TV license, you're talking about like cable or something similar to that? I don't know every term switch in every location. Like the equivalent of like cable TV or like broadcast TV, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So like for instance, the U.S. has free TV for your local stuff. That's just like required by law for like emergencies, right? There's a chance that we pay for it in taxes, but for the most part, you know, it's considered effectively free, right? But the most basic cable package with channels that are just not like the basic ones, starts at like $40. If you want like actual like TV packages in the US, they easily go up to $300 a month. Easy. So $14 a month is a drop in the bucket for a lot of people, because they're willing to spend $300 a month on internet and TV together in the US. No problem. That's just, they'll do it. And they'll also then have subscriptions on top of that. And that's not including pay-per-view stuff or sports channels. That's only the regular TV and movie channels. Hard to say. Fox is probably in a lot of places for free. I mean, you can just go on YouTube and watch Fox on YouTube. But let's say you're not paying the subscription. The problem with a lot of news channels in the U.S. is most of them are honestly act like reality TV, even if they are news. Yeah, that's the thing. So TV in a lot of places is going to be way more expensive than YouTube. And YouTube in general is going to, as long as you know where to look and you're not looking up like crazy fucking conspiracy theories all the time, you're probably going to get better news on, like you can watch the entire BBC channel, which is great, more or less for world news in general, just on YouTube. And it's worth it for the $14 a month.
Twitch has not fixed their issue, where people who are lurking are definitely not being counted. And it's having a pretty enormous effect. Here's an example
like you guys are
of
being
another
counted.
Faze streamer, Lumi. Her actual count, there's extensions to find how many people are in your chat. She had 2,200.
Which means 600 people right there are using ad block of some kind. That's probably what's happening here. There's enough people on the internet, especially people who watch Twitch, that absolutely use ad block. All right. Like, there's a good chance we have more than 13 viewers or 11 viewers that's showing right now on it, right? So maybe what's going on right now is Streamlabs is showing my actual viewer count. So there's 14 of you, right? And the 11 viewers on Twitch are showing the people who are not using AdBlock. Or, like some other version of it or something like that. So there's every real chance that there's an internal system keeping track of viewers who are actually contributing towards the bottom line of Twitch. And if you're not in that count.
But it was publicly displaying 1,400, almost half of what's actually in there, which is a pretty insane amount. Like, nobody's expecting the system to be perfect and count every single.
Yeah, I think, okay, so basic TV in the U.S. is free to my knowledge. Now, we may pay for it in some other tax that I don't know about. Our tax system is stupid. You can take all of our tax books, if I remember right, and it will stretch up to the fucking moon. That may not actually be real, but it gives you an idea of how fucking tall it would be. We have really fucking stupid laws and things written in our Library of Congress here, which is hilarious because for how dumb everyone is here. That might just be the last 20 years though. Yeah, I don't think I've ever paid a tax or a fee for just a basic TV license. So I don't think that's a thing here. However, we pay for other really stupid shit like $10,000 dental bills. So don't worry too much about it.
Viewer to complete accuracy, but this is really, really off. And here's another example of Rosie raiding with 281 people. Now, if you don't know what a raid is, it's basically like when you're ending your stream, you send your followers over to someone else's stream. But the thing is, you have to actually go out of your way to click accept in order to be a part of this total right here. So the fact that 281 people opted in tells me there's probably a lot more people who didn't. And she had easily over 300 actual viewers. But her view count, 241. Like, it's way off. It's
so. That doesn't matter. Also, the other problem is, Twitch updates view count slowly. Yeah, no, I know you don't have to click to accept. We went and raided. Who did we raid? Server? Did we raid Server? I think we raided Server. Oh yeah, that's right. She gave me the nickname of Jeff Wan, or one of you guys did, and then she said it out loud. So that's like apparently a thing now. But yeah, no, I don't think you need to click accept. I think you need to click. You need to like opt out of it, right? Like it automatically accepts it, I think. And then you have to opt out. Yeah, I don't think there's an actual accept button. Oh, let's go back. I want to see that. So this creator might just be a YouTuber though. Like I don't know if this creator streams. So if they're not streaming, then I can absolutely see the problem. You remember all the nonsense shit on YouTube I said about Twitch before? I mean, I still say that stuff, but still.
And she had easily over 300 actual send your followers over to someone else's stream. Okay. But the thing is, you have to actually go out of your way to click accept in order.
Oh yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, I've never seen that. I've been on other channels on my personal time on my Well, actually, I think do I use this account for that? I don't know. I have I have the YouTube family plan because I need multiple accounts. Yeah, I don't think I've ever clicked accept for a raid. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you guys can fucking tell me. I don't remember. Now the problem is I'm on the other side. Like I have to click accept to raid someone. That's gonna
be a part of this total right here. So the fact that 281 people opted in tells me there's probably a lot more people who didn't. And she had easily over 300 actual viewers. But her view count, 241. Like it's way off.
That's just engaged viewers, though. Like, and it's not even. It might not even be engaged viewers. 241 are more than likely not circumventing the ad system.
It's obvious it's not tracking right at all. And here's basically what's happening.
If I was a company If I was a company and someone was circumventing my ad system, the only way I really make money on the account, I would absolutely not fucking count their view, because that viewer is worthless to my company. I mean, the problem is how ads work, and that's just kind of how it is. Yeah, the view count also has a delay because it needs to run it through a bunch of checks, and it's constantly updating every 5 to 10 minutes. Like, I just looked back and it's 14 again on the channel, and it's now showing 12 on Streamlabs. So obviously there's delays and delays and reasons for the delay. So I don't know if I would trust live viewership in general.
Okay, this streamer in a 1-minute clip pretty much proved that they're just not counting lurkers. What she did was she was sitting around 700 live viewers, and she said, guys, I want to check something out here. Basically, lurkers rise up. Wake up right now. Just type something in the chat. I don't care if it's just like a letter. Just say something in the chat. And within the span of about 30 seconds, when they upgraded the view count, it exploded. As you can see right here, it went from around 700 to just shy of 1,000. Almost a 50% increase.
Okay, that means they're only counting engaged viewers then. Does that even matter, though? Do viewer counts actually matter? Like, a viewer count in general, it helps you, like, know what you're, whether or not people like you or not, right? But do viewer counts generally matter? Like, when you're just counting up ad revenue, that's irrelevant. They're just going to count whoever watched ads. It doesn't matter if your viewer count has, like, 500 and the, talking lurkers have 8, put you at 800. As long as everyone watched the ads, then... Yeah, so there's probably a section that's different for engaged viewers and not engaged viewers. But, like, in general, like, who does it really actually matter about your view counts? Like, I highly doubt that affects your ad revenue, because the only thing that affects ad revenue is, did the viewer on your channel watch an ad? Do they have a subscription to you? Or do they have Twitch Turbo? If they have any one of those three, you're going to get the same regardless of whether or not it shows you having 1 viewer or 2,000.
In a live viewer count. I mean, that's really significant. And we have other people like Megalodon, another VTuber, who's talking about this. And it's affecting a lot of people, even very successful indie VTubers as well.
I don't think it's actually affecting any channels. I think people think it's affecting their channels, but it's not. It can't affect your channel if they're still watching ads, because you're still going to get the revenue from it. They're not going to delete the ad revenue you earn from someone just because the view count's not right. That's not how that works. Now, it could affect sponsorships. So if sponsors demand a certain amount of viewer count to remain a sponsor, then I could see it affecting view counts or sponsorship deals and whatnot. But that's the only thing that makes sense.
Okay, we get to hear, this is probably around the time that people start, lurking a little. They stop chatting as much. 36 minutes in, numbers were climbing, and then my viewer count, the numbers continue climbing for the users, but the viewer count goes down by 200. But
was she one of the people who gave a stream key to Vettel?
Users are still climbing.
I think so.
Some people could say someone's botting me, but they almost match right before the Phasmo stream. I think that Victory and I were talking a little bit more.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Usually after I start playing a game, my chat dies down. People are lurking. That's completely fine. Please lurk. Please have a good time in any way you see fit during my stream, okay? Phasmo starts. Viewer count goes down to 700. Almost a 300 count difference. But the users are still the same. What changed? And what did change was people stopped talking in chat as much.
Yeah, but I want to know if viewer count even... So here's the thing for me. Does viewer count actually affect revenue? If it doesn't, who gives a fuck? The problem is I think a lot of VTubers think live viewership accounts to revenue, and it probably doesn't. It probably has nothing to do with their how Twitch gives revenue. The only thing that matters is, was an ad played? Yes? Great. That means you get money for that. Was an ad blocked? No? Or yes? Then no, you don't get money for that. What does this person have a subscription and they're watching and lurking? Great. But they're not really doing anything, so let's remove the live engaged viewer count. That would fix it. Maybe if they changed it so it says engaged viewers, then that would make more sense. Yeah, a lot of people love just chatting. You know, a lot of people are only here when I watch neuro videos. A lot of people get annoyed when I go on dumbass shit tangents like this and just leave. Some people love it, like you guys who are apparently masochists, but you know, that's a that's a thing. No kink shaming there. See? Tries here just for hell. So yes, so it would affect discoverability. You are correct. The lower your active viewers, the lower your like for instance, let's say someone's botting, right? I would absolutely see their viewer counts dropping potentially because bots are not going to be watching ads in most cases. They're going to be using like a custom system kind of on like a bunch of proxies or VPNs and whatnot that are all going to be all red flagged. Now, Twitch can't just necessarily ban a person for botting because it's super easy to pay for a bot to bot on another channel to ruin them. Like, perfect example. I was on the new YouTuber Reddit thread because it's super fucking entertaining. Don't ever listen to anything from that thread for the most part. Someone was complaining that they went from 44 subscribers to 33 subscribers like 2 days ago. Well, guess what? They're up to like 380 subscribers right now because some asshole more than likely bought them subscribers on their account. But YouTube can't ban someone for doing that right off the bat because they don't know. They don't know if it was you who did it or if it was like some random asshole, because you can buy subscribers for someone super cheap. Like, it's like $5 to send hundreds to someone's channel. And by the way, it will wreck their algorithm because what happens is it sends hundreds of people to your channel that are like all over the world and don't ever watch your shit. So it starts sending your videos out to completely random categories. Like, let's say you're a VTuber and that happens. It's effectively channel PvP, and it's super fucking easy to do it, and people will willingly drop. If you drop $100, you can destroy a channel's analytics, at least if they're a small channel, right off the bat. Easy. So easy. And YouTube doesn't ban the channels for the most part, unless it's like, you know, unless they were like really stupid and it was actually the person they did it on their own channel with like, I don't know, fucking their own IP network for some reason. But then you're going to get an automatic warning from AdSense for that because it'll be called invalid traffic. Example, when we first started doing the neuro stuff, I got a massive influx of people from the Doug and neuro video, and I got invalid traffic for that month because it was a bunch of really... Basically, I went from like the averaging like 150 views a video to like that video hit 30,000. So yeah, there was a bunch of like weird numbers on my channel for like 5 days. So YouTube's like, I don't know. Yeah, so it could affect discoverability. You are right. That would be the big one. Which would be why they were trying to, you know, which would be why the bot system would be a problem, which is why, you know, we're getting people out there and whatnot. But, you know, I think a lot of people can kind of see bot systems. Like, for instance, we have 15 viewers right now, and about 7 of you or so are talking. So we have at least 8 lurkers or so. That's pretty average. But what if I had, like, 2,000 viewers and only, like, 5 of you were talking, right? Obviously, there would be something wrong there. It'd be pretty fucking easy in most cases to tell there's something wrong. Would a lot of people care? Hard to say. But the reality is, you know, that would be inflating viewership, but those would not be viewers that would be earning ad revenue, which would probably flag in the system, which is why you would see a gradual decrease of viewers on Twitch's side, because none of those like 2,000 viewers would be useful for ad revenue, which is what Twitch is probably getting in trouble for from Amazon. Amazon probably is cracking down for the one reason is they are losing ad revenue to bots, because bots don't generate ad revenue. I think someone tanked another person's channel by turning one guy's 1 hour video into a That's funny. I don't know if that's possible necessarily. Like in theory, it could be. So if you're talking about YouTube specifically, YouTube treats each at least now. Now, before when they were doing the algorithm, like manually when you needed to use hashtags and everything to actually move things, that could have been true. However, now each video that you upload runs through YouTube's AI system, and it pushes it out to where it thinks it is the best needed, which is good and bad. It's less likely to be affected by, people who buy basically subscribers for people. However, it's also a little broken in the fact that sometimes it gets the transcript wrong. Because it even if you don't write a transcript, it will generate a transcript from your video within the first half hour of upload, and then it pushes it out to where it believes the most viewers will come. That's how it works in general. And especially true if you uncheck that box that says push to my subscribers. So for instance, a lot of the neuro stuff I push to you guys. But if I'm going to upload a VOD, I uncheck that box. So it shows up on the channel, but you don't get a notification about it. Because you've already seen it if you're here. So the problem with viewer counts is we don't know what Twitch is running in the background and what their viewer counts count. For me, I think it's not just engaged viewers, but ad revenue generating viewers. That's what I think it is. And obviously your counts are going to be totally off based off of what's actually happening. Okay, so we're averaging 10 chatters. That's not bad for, 12 to 15 viewers on average. That's great. I mean, this is a one of the rant videos that we're doing today. But when we're doing like only neuro stuff during like big event days, we average like 40 to 50 viewers, which is great. Yeah, this is a chat room day. and argue against like I understand where he's coming from, this creator, but I
I
think
started
he's
playing Phasmophobia.
wrong.
That's what always happens in my streams.
I don't
People
think
stop
VTubers being
engaging as much
targeted.
whenever I start playing a game. That's okay. What's not okay is the viewer count not reflecting people that are watching the streams. Do you see how insane this statistic is right here? 650 viewers, 1,000 users. How come it was counting here but not here?
Now, one more set of examples I want to show here is this tweet, which went pretty viral. You can see it has like 3 million views, 44.
I mean, if you're not generating ad revenue for them, I don't know if Twitch counts it. The question is, I don't know how Twitch's stupid system works, and I guess it doesn't really matter. But does it affect your ad revenue in any way? The biggest thing, you're right, it would though affect. Basically, for instance, if we started getting hundreds of viewers on my channel at any given time, but no one was commenting, I would still potentially get more people jumping into the chat because they're like, oh, this guy's somewhat more popular. He's got more than one person in the chat, because a lot of people only have one person in their chat at any given point. Actually, that's a vast majority of most Twitch. I keep getting emails saying I'm in the top 1%, but obviously that doesn't generate into money. I was able to pull one paycheck after 3 months, although this next month it'll be a little higher, but still.
1,000 likes, where this VTuber, of course, says, this is why smaller streamers quit, by the way. And this is their number with the extension. They have 33 with the extension, but the live count from Twitch says 13.
Should we get the extension? Maybe we have a lot more viewers and I just don't know.
Almost 1/3. That's pretty debilitating. Okay, that is demoralizing, especially for a smaller.
That's not why Twitch creators leave, by the way. Yeah. Wait, I have a moderator view. Okay, cool, great. Is it showing more than 10? Okay, yeah, it's showing me as 10 as well, and it's showing 11 on Streamlabs, but Streamlabs and Twitch are always off by like 5 minutes every time. Now, the question is, do we actually have more than 10? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so that's the thing. So, I mean, for me, though, like, the main reason we have more viewers on this is because I do live requests, and a lot of people like that, and we, react to random things. It's, So that's a little bit reaction content's easier to get views in general because if you take, especially if you take live requests, it's way easier just in general. And the other thing is, I have a YouTube channel that has over 7,000 subscribers, so it's not like I jumped in here with nothing. So I already had a base. Way easier. We got affiliate in 2 days, you know. But a lot of people quit streaming because they think they can do it full time. Most people need to earn $5,000, at least in the U.S. Most people need to earn around $5,000 a month to do it full time, which means you know even at 33 viewers, they're gonna quit anyway because it still doesn't make enough. It's a great side hobby that may pay for some groceries, and that's what most people need to go in thinking it's going to do. If you're like, okay, I'm doing this for groceries this month. Great. That's going to be great. Huh. Yeah, it's up to 12 on my side and 10 on Streamlabs. So there's always weird delays. It might be counting one of you guys twice. It might be counting the mod twice as a viewer and a mod. I don't know how that works.
Streamer. Now, a lot of people are trying to say like, "Oh, why do you care about view count so much?" Like, who cares? Well, first of all, I think you should care at least a little bit, as like a feedback tool, right? Like if you normally stream to 100 people and you try something new.
I want to stream to 100 people. Sad.
A new game or something, and all of a sudden your view count for that stream's like 20. That tells you, you know, maybe that's not in the best.
You want me to take a screenshot of my view count? I mean, we could. I have 2 different view counts right now. I've got 10. Oh no, they're both showing up as 10 right now.
Interest of my viewers. Maybe they don't respond well to that game, what have you. Now with this system, if it's not being accurate, you might get confused on feedback like that. It might not make any sense.
It's in Discord.
And on top of that, I believe in the power of persuasion with numbers. I think there's a lot of people out there, if they see 2 streams, let's say identical content, they're going to be more likely to click on the one that has more viewers.
That's true. That is okay, so this part's absolutely true. A lot of YouTubers specifically, and probably Twitch streamers and streamers in general, fail early because their subscriber counts are low or their view counts are low. Not because their content's bad or anything. It's because they either give up on it or, you know, they just think that all their stuff is, you know, garbage. There's a reason that people pay for, you know, getting that first 1,000 or bumping their channel. Like if you have a reaction channel, or just any channel in general, but reaction channels specifically, get more views if your subscriber count is past 50,000. Even if you still have the same rant, like if my channel eventually gets to 50,000, I will on average get more views, even if they only watched one video. And even if I'm not pushing any of my videos towards them, like if I uncheck that box, push to my subscribers every single time, I would still get more views because the 50,000 mark just proves that people are like, oh, this creator's more popular for one reason or another, right? You're going to get more views no matter what. And you'll be able to survive a lot of bullshit on the internet, especially when the drama sphere is in play. Perfect example would be Pirate. Pirate Software is a perfect example of this. He lost tons of viewership, but he still has a lot of views because of his base level. It doesn't matter if you hate him as a person. It's not going to delete a massive chunk of his audience who doesn't give a fuck. But he also will be able to regain those viewers because they won't, 1, know the history or care, and 2, they'll just see the higher amount from his main channel. And that's all they care about. A lot of people will always, let's click on something higher. Everyone does this. It's just like this weird psychological thing.
Because in their minds, and this is not true, but it can have some weight, I guess.
Yep, Cinder.
People figure, oh, if there's a lot of people watching the stream, it must be somewhat entertaining, right?
Well, yeah, and exactly. Cinder's a perfect example. And Cinder's probably botting. And even if she's not, it doesn't even matter. The reality is, you know, a lot of people are like, their careers are totally destroyed. I'm like, well, the only person who's totally destroyed career so far is, 1, if you end up in prison. And even then, half the time your channel's doing great. Like, for instance, Illuminati, right? She legit just left the internet entirely. Just disappeared. She might still be making money from the channel. I don't know. But she just disappeared, you know? Plenty of creators just disappear, but they still pull in paychecks from their channels, even if they're dying. But the majority of people who, like, their careers end on YouTube and Twitch and wherever, but if as long as they're streaming or come back, it doesn't matter. People forget within 2 weeks.
Again, that's not 100% true all the time, but I think a lot of people do think like that. So
We're all like
it does
goldfish on the
impact you there.
internet.
And also, your view count impacts sponsorships. That is your bargain.
That's the big one. So if sponsorships care about view count, you've got a problem. That's your big one. Because the sponsorships are where you're going to make a lot of your money. I guess we're at 25 subscribers on the channel, right? Now, to be fair, I've probably given away about 14 of those for free. So we'll see how many of those stay after 30 days. But in general, subscribers are good, like, base money. But your sponsorships are the ones that, you know, keep you in a house or give you the ability to buy a house.
Chip, how many live viewers you can bring to them as a partner with a sponsor. And the thing here is, it's already cooked to begin with because of view botting. Because view botting was so prevalent on Twitch for so long that advertisers, I guess, got a little spooked. They're not as willing to work with people because, you know, they'd have like...
Why would they? Why would any advertiser work with anyone view botting or just anyone they think might be view botting? Because they will lose money hand over fist. There's no point in sponsoring someone if you're not showing any ads to real people. And it's so easy to track that. Twitch absolutely can track where botters are coming from. It is not difficult. Like, even if they're running the view bot system through a VPN, unless they're running it through dedicated, proxies or a VPN that has a dedicated IP for each individual bot, by the way, you can all tell they're all coming from the same fucking locations. It is not hard.
Joe Schmo, who's like a guy who looks like he was just created in a lab yesterday, who no one's ever heard of, who's sitting there with 20,000 viewers or view count.
Tomorrow, let's start with 20,000 20,000. Imagine if you guys logged in tomorrow and we had like 22,000 live viewers in the first 3 minutes. You'd be like, there seems to be something wrong here. No one wants to listen to Jeff talk through a 4-minute video into a 2-hour one. Not 20,000 people. Yeah, a raid maybe, sure. I don't know if Vettel would raid me after me bashing Aqua for an hour on that one video, if you ever saw that.
But the chat's moving like he's streaming in front of 100. And he can say, I got 20,000 viewers to a sponsor.
He might not care about Aqua that
they
much,
give him
though.
big bucks to do something, and they get nothing out of it. The sponsor doesn't get the return on their investment they expected. And then,
it's only going to still count as one view, though, because it's all coming from the same IP. Okay. That makes sense.
They don't punish just the view botters. They punish everyone, even people with legitimate view counts. They don't know.
Advertisers don't know, but how would you know that your view counts are legitimate? Maybe people are botting on your channel and you just don't know it. Yeah, but okay, so 2 phones and a laptop. Unless you're using all different data streams for that, like for instance, if you're using your phone's data stream and your laptop has its own personal hotspot, they're all coming through the same IP address, which means they're only going to count one view. Oh, okay, so, most VTuber stuff like reactors in most cases. But yeah, I don't know. The problem is I don't know enough. I don't know enough on the Vettel front for that one. He may have said it, but my memory is like a fucking sieve, so who knows?
Advertisers are just going to say, hey, this is what happens when we give X amount to a 20,000 live view count streamer. So you with the legitimate 1,000 view count that might actually produce more, we don't trust you. Like, we're going to give you a much smaller offer, not even work with you. So that's why these things do matter. It does matter, but like I said, there's an extension for this, and you can see another wall of numbers.
I kind of want to find the extension for this. I guess anyone can download the extension and see what the actual views are. But then again, like For instance, you see the 526 down there? They might be view botting with 20 accounts. Maybe Twitch has determined that 20 of those accounts are bots. It wouldn't be hard for them to filter that out. Like, I can see, you know, the 7 and 11 one just being kind of a fluctuation between problems, right? The 2 and 10 one looks like they're potentially botting with 5 accounts. You know, 1 and 4 is probably a fluctuation, but the big one is the 5 and 26. That 5 and 26, which likely means that 20 of those accounts are being flagged for suspicious behavior for some reason or other. So
numbers here. I think I feel worse for this person down here going from 4 to 1. And people like 4 viewers. Oh, who cares? It 4, dude. How many times in your life?
That's just people jumping in and out. So I don't know. That's that one's unlikely botting. Now, what they could be doing. So see where it says 1 and 4. There's a decent chance that they have multiple phones up at their house. Like, for instance, my stream software is up on the side, but I can't always tell what's going on. So, for instance, I may sometimes have a phone up on my own IP with my own account signed in watching it, just so I can see a constant view of whether or not my dumbass face is frozen or not. Because sometimes I don't see it when I look off to the side. It doesn't freeze correctly. Like, it still works on my side, but it may not be working on your guys' side. But if you have multiple phones set up, which plenty of people could do that, it would all be coming from the same IP in most cases, so they're blocking out 3 of them. Because your own views don't count. They just get blocked. Because obviously, you can't monetize your own stuff. That's not how that works.
Life, have you done something like playing a video game where 4 people want to watch you over anything else they could do with their time? I still think that's really cool. Thinking like that will keep you humble, but yeah, it's a very different look.
Generally, I think a good amount of viewership is probably between, if you want to have actual conversations with your chat, it's probably anywhere between 25 or less and maybe 50 or less. When you're at the level of Vettel, you can't have any conversation with your chat just because it's hundreds of thousands of people scrolling across the screen at any given point. That's it. Maybe not parents watching their kids stream as much, because a lot of these are going to not be kids necessarily. Some might be, but yeah, I think some of it's blown out of proportion. You're probably right. But I think a lot of it's probably blown out of proportion. And I think this is Twitch's system telling you which ones are valid ones and which ones they deem invalid. It doesn't matter if you don't think the view is the account's invalid or the view is invalid. Twitch is deeming it as invalid.
Go from 4 to 1, when clearly you're gonna notice when you have a smaller count like that, you're gonna notice that there's 4 people there most likely. But yeah, that's just rough, and it's really frustrating a lot of people because there's no answers. There's absolutely nothing Twitch will do to help you on this.
They don't have to. That's the thing. You are on their platform, and they do not have to legally tell you anything. They don't have to. They just don't. And that's the downside of doing content streaming or content in general. All right, you are bound by the TOS. They can ban you for almost any reason. And they don't have to tell you a lot of stuff. This is not like a normal job where you actually sign contracts and you're given a very specific rule set and expectations to be paid. While you do have a TOS system that you're supposed to do, it's kind of arbitrary depending on what you're doing, right? I'm not underestimating that, but I mean, my parents don't live with me. They live in their own fucking house an hour away from me. They would never watch my stream. They might watch some of my YouTube videos occasionally. But they're not going to watch my streams or anything like that. And, I don't know if I would watch my kid if I had a kid, if they were a 10-year-old streaming or 15-year-old streaming, maybe just to see if they're streaming crazy shit. But in general, I don't know. Now, to be fair, when you're talking about family members living with parents, that's not really huge thing in the majority of the world. That's only Americans, for the most part, kick their kids out at 18 or earlier, right? A lot of people live with their families in multi-generational houses, which, by the way, a lot of times are fucking huge. Some of these houses have like 12 bedrooms and things like that, right? A lot of them are smaller, but a lot of them are like big, like family, multi-generational, effectively a compound at some point. And there's bonuses to that, but there's also like problems with that. So the problem is you got to deal with your family in a much more closer area. Generally, if you marry into the family and you're at that house, you have a much bigger problem. Kind of like, basically, you get like steamrolled a lot of times in a lot of ways. So there are upsides and downsides. The downside of is you lose a lot more money when you're all separate. So a lot of the things in the U.S. could be solved by having, you know, multi-generational houses from a, you know, affordability standpoint. But from a mentality standpoint, the U.S. is kind of like a me-only kind of a society right now, at least for now.
They're picking this road to go down, and for some reason, just like everything else, it appears to me that this is disproportionately affecting VTubers.
Yeah.
Because, of course, I mean, that's how everything is on Twitch. They just punish VTubers. They just don't like them for some reason. I don't get it. And they use the rule book at them, and now they're doing this, and it's just
it's probably pretty equal across the board. It's unlikely they're just targeting VTubers. It's most likely equal across the board. Maybe a lot of people aren't looking up a lot of the smaller creators. A lot of the smaller creators are not VTubers. VTubers are a small subsection, and even if it's like 20% of this affecting VTubers, right? Well, you're noticing a bigger subsection of a small subsection, right? This is probably affecting everyone, and it's just a smaller percentage of the regular channels because they have a lot less people in general. And that's the thing. So, I mean, you only really pay attention to your section. If a massive chunk of your section gets hit, you think it's affecting only you. When the reality is, let's say 100 VTubers are affected, right? That's probably not even that high, or it's probably a much higher number, right? Or lower number, sorry. It's probably like 30 VTubers are affected. But let's say 100 is affected, right? People who are not VTubing, it's probably 10,000 people who are affected. But there's a lot more of them. There's like millions. Isn't there like 1 million accounts or something on Twitch or something like that? And the majority of them never break 2 active viewers at any given random point. Yeah, okay. The viewer gift thing was weird. But that might have been an isolated incident. The problem with Twitch, the TwitchCon thing is TwitchCon is always fucking broken. It's always been broken. There's always something in every convention. There's always something stupid that happens. We are going on random dumbass tangents again, like normal. Today was a tangent day. I would expect Twitch staff being incompetent versus them just targeting VTubers. The way convention staff works a lot of times is I honestly think it's going to be incompetent for conventions, just because conventions are, you know, a once a year type of thing, and then they go back to regular jobs. They aren't running conventions 24/7 in most cases. There are a few, but you know, in general, I think it's just being incompetent when doing any sort of a fucking convention. Was it only affecting VTubers only? Were they throwing out gifts for other creators? I mean, were there other creators? Was TwitchCon this time only VTuber stuff? Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't watch TwitchCon in general this year. I would say incompetence. Just VTuber stuff was getting thrown out. And we're 100% certain that that's what it was, right? And like, now here's the question though I have is, were most of the gifts coming in for VTubers, were they from people that were visiting, or were they like shipped in? Because that would be a different problem potentially. like, was there a threat though at some point where they just panicked and just trashed them all because of a threat? Because that I've seen that happen at Kamikaze. There was a threat with a crazy dude. What year was it? 2012. And they threw out a ton of random gifts for people, not only in Artist Alley, but like actual convention, like not organizers, like guests. They threw a ton of stuff out for guests at a Kamikaze event, which was in LA. Yeah. And for basically the same thing. There was a random threat that happened. It was basically some crazy guy who was off his meds. What else is fucking new? They'll move out of Twitch, maybe. They might move to YouTube. They might move to Kick. But then they're going to have the same problems there. It's the same shit everywhere. Yeah. Camilla had the tracker, right. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't accept most gifts nowadays because it'd be so easy to put a fucking tracker in things. I just wouldn't do any gift things. Never accept any gifts. If you ever become any sort of like streamer and you're, doing decent at any point where you could get gifts, why would you need gifts? If anything, you should give gifts out to people. In fact, I have an idea. Who wants a Steam key? I have a free Steam key I could give out.
Giant mess, but anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below.
It was an interesting video.